Yes, welcome back, Looney listeners. You are listening to Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast. This is episode 328, and you are with both your high priests of Khonshu, Rebecca and Ray. Rebecca, welcome back.
Hi. Hi. I'm laughing because
Hey.
I happen to have Twitter open, so I know what you've called this episode, and it's a good
Hi.
title.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Well,
why you
yeah.
caught me laughing. I was like, oh yeah, that's really fun.
Keeping it simple. Yeah, and especially with such a big guest in the comics, I couldn't resist. But
Yes,
anyway,
yes.
what Rebecca is alluding to, of course, is that we've got another Moonshine issue. So we'll be looking at this is live stream because it is a new issue to date. Moon 9, Volume 9, Issue 23, Panic Room, by, of course, Jed McKay, Alessandro Capuccio, Rochelle Rosenberg, the super team. Before any of that, Rebecca, how things been? Good. You've been stocking up on August comics.
Yeah, I've just been putting in my orders, but they didn't have one of the ones we're going to talk about in a second up on the
Ah,
website yet. So I've still got a little bit of
um,
additional buying to do, but I was starting to get it in. But I don't think we've seen a full page of solicits for it yet. So I
oh,
did a quick search for August solicits and I couldn't find them. So maybe I
yeah,
missed them. I'll have another look later.
they've got to be around there somewhere. They're probably
I
under the
do, right?
under the couch or something, Rebecca.
Yeah, yeah.
Where you least
Possibly
expect
at
them.
them.
We have so much news.
So
It's quite
much.
exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just bursting at the seams. Before any of that, of course, a huge thank you to all our patronis and our principal sponsors: Odin Sword, Franklin Think Tank, Mario Di Giacomo, Drew Toombs, Daniel Doing, CLZ Comics, and Dreamland Comics from Schoenberg, Illinois. So, Rebecca, let's jump straight into it. White Noise. Oh my gosh, it's been pretty sparse lately. So,
Yeah,
any.
it's all jumped out at us now. We have everything.
Mm,
Everyone save up for August is all I'm saying.
oh
Especially if
my
you like
gosh,
variants.
absolutely. Save your pennies. We've been contacting creators. It's all happening. It's all a buzz again. I'm just going to pull this up on our slides. The first bit of news. We've got a fair bit of comic news.
Yeah.
First bit of news, we spoke to a friend of the show, Erica Schultz, has returned to Moon Knight. Those of you will know she wrote a fantastic short story in the anthology Black, White, and Blood. So Erica returns for What If Dark Moon Knight, #1. Art by Edgar Salazar and cover by him as well. And it's on sale, as Rebecca mentions, in August.
Yeah. This one's
August
mid-August.
16th.
Yeah, so
Mid-August, yep.
pay attention to the dates here because there's a lot.
Yes.
Oh no, the other ones are July. That's why. So this is an ahead one.
Okay. So this one's
Yeah.
a bit ahead. We're going to kind of
Yeah.
work backwards then.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the solicits say, what if Moon Knight did not say, oh, sorry, let me start again. What if Moon Knight did not survive his battle with Bushmen? When Khonshu's avatar is slain, a different god empowers their own surprising new champion. From the darkness emerges a new force to light the way. Luminary. But will her quest for revenge, what's going on, against Moon Knight's killer result in her own downfall? Find out in What If Dark Moon Knight. Yeah, Rebecca. So exciting stuff here. I mean, the art looks really cool as well.
Yeah, no, I think I'm more excited for the comic than I am by the solicit text because like,
Hmm.
for a character like Moon Knight saying what if he didn't survive is a little bit like, well, he just gets resurrected. I mean,
Yeah.
like, so I kind of wish they'd found a better way of writing it, but like, what if he didn't get resurrected or something like, but
Hmm.
whatever. It's comics, it's solicits, it doesn't really matter. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, it
So
looks really cool. Yeah, I guess it's a one-off. Actually, it implies, Rebecca, there may be a whole series of other what ifs. I mean, they're kind of semi-popular, aren't they?
they are bunging out a bunch of more what ifs. So
Yeah.
yeah, I
So
noticed
that's
when I was trying to find it, there's quite a lot, but most of them are sort of
ah.
Spider-Man related.
Oh yeah, I was about to ask, anything pique your interest? Like any other?
I
No.
was doing it very quickly and very tired last night before I started looking for these other Moon Knight comics. So
No worries. Well, it doesn't end there, of
yeah,
course. We also have Rebecca. You reminded me of this just before we started. Yes, of course, City of the Dead, Moon Knight. So this
yeah,
is out in July, is it?
yeah. It is out on the 19th of July.
Mm-hmm.
So and it will be picking up from Moon Knight 25, which we'll talk about in a second.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what I'm sure we've talked about it before, but if we haven't, it's the debut of
Oh,
Scarlet Scarab.
that's right.
When a young runaway is attacked by a gang of death cultists, he is left barely alive outside the Midnight Mission. But Mark Spector made a vow long ago to defend the travelers of the night. As long as spark of life remains, his mission isn't over yet. Follow Moon Knight on his most harrowing adventure yet as the Fist of Khonshu journeys far beyond the land of the living and battles across the mind-bending underworld known as the City of the Dead.
Mm.
Is David Pepose and the artist is Marcelo Ferreira.
Awesome stuff. Just wondering, Rebecca, what do you reckon? I'm trying to get, you know, under the, I don't know what you say, behind the eyes or in the head of the editors at Marvel and so like what do you put this down to, like this burst of Moon Knight activity all of a sudden? I
I
mean, there's
mean, I
no
think it's I think that look, I think we've talked about it a few times, is that it's clearly being very successful because it's the main run is carrying on.
Mm,
Which is so unusual for most comics at
yeah.
Marvel. Super unusual for a character who's not necessarily as A tier as the others. Shall I be nice about it?
Yeah.
Like obviously he had the Marvel show, but then so have others, and they've not seen. There's no Hawkeye
Mm.
ongoing for either
And it's
Kate or
yeah.
Clint. Miss Marvel off and on. I don't really know, but I don't think
Mhm.
there's an ongoing at the moment. So it's not. I think it's like everything's kind, and obviously Black, White, and Red did well. Black, White, and Blood,
Mhm.
did well. So I think they're just and people, lots of, I mean, comic writers and artists have always listed Moon Knight as one of the characters they like playing
Mm.
around with, because he's quite different. And I guess for the artists, you're dealing with whites, and because I guess you can go supernatural, you can go street level, you can go Egypt, you can
Mhm.
I don't know, but I mean, I
Mm.
think the City of the Dead one is specifically to get Layla into the comics as the new
Yeah.
Scarlet Scarab. Um,
Yeah.
in a way that makes sense, because it apparently will be coming after 25. But I think we all agree we like the character in the TV show. I think
Yeah.
most people liked it.
Mhm.
uh some with reservations, some without. But I certainly think characters like Scarlet Scarab in the comics are kind of due an updating, and this
Yeah.
seems too good a kind of the way they did it in the show worked. And it's going to be interesting
Mhm.
to see how they fit it in, because obviously it can't be like it was in the show. She's not going to suddenly be married to Mark.
Yeah.
um so we'll see, but I'm looking forward to it. It's like I've liked I've liked David Pose's other comics that I've read. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
And while we're
I've
talking about the million of covers, so there
yeah.
are
Oh gosh, yeah, they're right in there.
5 covers.
Okay.
The main
Yeah.
one, an Alex
Mhm.
Maleev one with Layla on the front. It says artist variant, whatever. A
Mhm.
Scotty Young one and a Pepe Larraz foil variant. So
Oh,
very
well,
plush.
nice.
So
Gimmicky. Love it.
none of those are. They're all the free to buy ones. I don't know if there's
Okay.
other
Oh, the
other
the
one. Yeah,
ratio
yeah,
ones.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool. It's good to see. It'll be good to see Layla, in there. I guess I just underestimate how successful, and I'm not complaining by any means, but just how successful Moon Knight is going, and full credit to Jed McKay and the
Yeah,
whole team,
yeah.
Alessandro Cappuccio and Rosenberg, if that's the case. I mean, maybe the appointment of McKay to Avengers is
Mhm.
kind of like a bit of a window into how well he's going at Marvel, and i.e. how well Moon Knight and Doctor Strange is going. So perhaps that kind of
I mean, there could
explains.
also. I mean, why do I always come up with these like terrible rumors while we're talking? There could also be an element of like testing in other teams.
Yeah, yes, could
If
be.
Jed feels he's
Oh
run out of Moon Knight stories. No, I'm not. No one would get rid of him. Like, but
no,
if he felt that he had
I
nothing
mean,
else,
but I mean,
I
let's
don't think
face.
that will happen. I think Jed will carry on, and we'll get we'll get
I
additional comics. So like it's just about, but this would be the way to do it, right? Give them minis,
yes.
see if they do well. Give them
Yeah.
one-offs, see if they do well. You know.
I hope of course I hope we have Jed and the whole team for for Yonks.
Yeah, me too.
But there is something to that, Rebecca, as well. I
Yeah.
mean, at the same in the same token, by the same token, Jed is taking on a lot of projects. So I would rather just this is just me, my selfish thing. I'd rather see him focus on a manageable amount, and I don't know, maybe this is still a hugely manageable amount for Jed. I'm not a writer.
Right, exactly.
Um,
We don't know. It may be that he's
yeah,
like, "Oh, I might go to 50 and take a break," and they're testing
mm,
people now. You know, so I'm not
yeah,
saying, "Oh, I think he'll be gone,"
yep,
because I actually don't. But I do think that it's
mm,
nice to sometimes see who else fits and who
yep,
what kind of reception they get and things like
yeah.
that.
I think 50 would be a fantastic milestone. I mean, the way that they kind of celebrated, the likes of Al Ewing's Immortal Hulk's 50th, and more recently
Yeah, right.
Kelly Thompson's 50th, yeah, at Captain Marvel. It's quite a it is quite a
But if you
milestone.
think, I mean, like, so
Yeah.
they're the comics we're now even talking about Moon Knight in the same
Yes, it's crazy. It's crazy.
conversation as. Yeah.
So yeah, so David Proposer. I mean, I'm a huge fan ever since his Spencer and Locke days. His creator owned stuff over at Action Labs. He's been doing stuff for Savage Avengers, Fantastic Four, I
Did
believe
a
as
really
well.
nice Iron Man and Cap.
Iron Man and Cap yeah. So he's a great writer.
He knows how to get on our side.
I'd love to chat with David Proposer, and Rebecca. You've reached out to him, and he's quite receptive. So we definitely should make that happen.
Jokingly at 3 in the morning, and he said
Uh,
yes. So hopefully we'll get to speak to him once the comic's out.
yes,
Yeah.
and just to let you know, Loonies, as well. Yeah, as Rebecca said, there are so many variants to this, and to our next one, issue 25, which is a big announcement too. When we spotlight these issues themselves, we'll go through the variants, but
Yeah, yeah.
we'll just on screen. You can now just see the regular covers. But yeah, Rebecca, this 25th is a huge one, 9.99, right? US.
Yeah, I think so
Mm,
because it's coming up as approximately that for the UK. So there's
yep,
like seven variants that on Forbidden Planet that can be
yep.
bought straight away, um, including a Frank Miller one and an Art Germ one,
Hmm.
Gary Frank, Steve McNiven.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Yep,
I
yep.
think we've put some of them up, and they've been up on the website. So, but
No,
it's
but
a
yeah,
big issue.
it
Um,
is.
Jed and Alessandro Vitti and Alessandro Capuccio
Mhm.
are doing the main story. Moon Knight's past and present collide, leading into his first event series, which is City of the Dead.
Yes.
Um, and so we're gonna the last mission of the Karnak Cowboys, a mercenary crew that includes Mark, Jean-Paul, Duchamp,
Jean-Paul?
Jean-Paul,
Yes.
Robert Plesko, and Layla.
Ooh, Plesko, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, great. I mean, we all know about him if you've been reading,
Oh,
obviously,
that's right.
The
They're
Knight
gonna
Rider.
hunt for answers in the graves of Hart Island, which I'm sure
Oh,
is
yeah,
is
Rebecca, there
named
you
for
go.
me. I'm sure it is.
Yes,
Like
it
whether
has
it
to
is or
be.
not, it is now. Um, whatever. But then it says plus a classic Moon Knight story from the past
Yeah.
by Doug Mensch and Bill Sienkiewicz. So like I assume that's just this is what we were talking about just before we started recording. I assume
Mm.
that's just a reprint. Well, I mean it is going to be a reprint. We have no idea which.
Yeah.
So
Oh, it is it is okay. Yeah, you're right. It's true. I mean, because it's not unheard of to not to say that this is it, but for inviting the classic teams back.
yeah,
Didn't
I
Bill
mean, I
Sienkiewicz,
guess.
didn't he do a cover as well? Oh, he's done
Oh,
some
he's done
variant
some
covers.
covers.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, Black, White, and Blood, of course. He's done that one, the
Yeah.
first one as well. So, and
I guess they
mu
could. I
they
mean,
could.
Doug
Yeah.
Mensch is 75, but it's not
Yeah,
unheard of. I mean, fingers
exactly.
crossed, that would be amazing, right?
Oh, that'd
I
be
mean, that
great.
would make it worth the. I mean, I'm not saying it's not worth the $10 anyway. I'm just
Mm,
saying that if it's a reprint, I would feel a little bit
that's true.
like
Yeah,
I would rather pay less and have a smaller comic. But if it's a
yeah.
new story by them, that would be amazing. So it
It's
does
gotta
say
be
a
a
classic Moon Knight story from the past, though. It sounds like it's just a
Oh, okay, yeah, for
We'll
sure.
see. We'll see.
It could be also hopefully a 32 pager, maybe 40 pager from Jed and
I
Alessandro.
think it's a long comic generally.
Yeah,
I don't remember where I've
yeah,
seen it because I
okay,
think it'll be on our website.
yeah,
Because on Forbidden Planet they don't say how many pages it is,
okay,
unfortunately.
right. Yeah, but I mean, yes, for sure. Loonies, we all know that you love Moon Knight, so pre-order this thing, get it in there. I've
Like
got
I
a
just did.
sorry.
Like I just did. Because
Hi.
I just that's exactly what I was just doing, ordering it. Is that was
Yes.
my point.
Yeah. I've probably got it already in my pull list, but I've just got to give some thought as to the variants. You know, whether I get one in particular or just get regular.
I was gonna get the
No.
negative color one,
Yeah,
and I
that'd be
still
cool.
might. But
Yeah.
currently I just went for the slightly cheaper option of not getting the way that Forbidden Planet works is if you buy the A cover, you get
Mm.
10% off. You know, you can
Oh,
subscribe to the A cover, but you can't subscribe to the variants. So you have to pay full
right.
price for the variants.
Sorry, I've got it. It's right there at the back. Very hard to get. Anyway.
I hate that.
Yeah. So plenty of comic book news there, loonies. It's been bandied about in our
Oh, it's
social media
92
platforms.
pages.
92!
Yeah.
Holy
That
smoke.
including the classic story. So it's
Yeah.
big. It's
So
definitely
even the classic story, if that's 22, 23 pages,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
still
It's a
hefty.
big comic.
Yes.
Unless that's a
Yes.
typo, but that's what it says. So
Oh, better not be 39 pages, Rebecca. Be ropeable.
I know we'll
Absolutely
go and
ropeable.
argue.
So great stuff. Any other, I guess, bits of news on comics, Rebecca? I've only got one other thing.
No, no, that's everything from me.
I thought this was a nice little play on words. So a big thank you to Orion or Opie from Discord. Posted this up in our Discord channel as well. So what we have, Susu Toys releasing the Gentle Moon as opposed to Gentleman. I actually read it as Gentleman first, but
Yeah, so
uh,
did I.
yeah, it looks awesome. It's a 1-to-6 figure of Mr. Knight, and we're talking about like Hot Toys level quality and detail. So this retails I've got for a hefty about $230 US. It's got LED lights to light up the eyes.
It's really cool.
And yeah, it just looks really awesome. It's got a lot of accessories too. And again, might do a spotlight. So I'm not going to go right into all the details, but it's a good looking figure. It looks almost like a photo, Rebecca.
Yeah,
Um,
it's really nice.
just so for
How
those that
much is
recall,
that? Like, did we?
230 US.
Oh my
So that's
lord.
pre. I know.
Okay, I'm
Eh,
too
oh,
impoverished right now.
it's my
I
much.
said no. I was saving up for my holiday.
Yeah. Yes. Estimated time. So pre-orders now, but estimated delivery between August and October this year. But yes, it is. It is for a hefty sum. Look, it looks very similar
It's gorgeous
to
though.
Oscar Isaac. So for those that can see, you can jump on our YouTube channel and have a look at some of these slides. But again, just some really nice Moon Knight or Mr. Knight looking figures there. So yeah, that pretty much wraps our white noise segment. We just have a comment coming here, Rebecca.
Yeah, it's from
Um,
John Marsden. I just went to check.
ah,
Oh,
Excellent. So thank you, John. John's jumped in. He says, I'm beyond excited for the next issue of the current run. Morpheus is and always will be my favorite Moon Knight rogue. He literally is what happens when you have kids. Yes, absolutely. And yes, we'll get to that, of course, John, with the little preview of 24 at the very end. But you're right, absolutely. Morpheus. Can't wait to. Rebecca, shall we head into a bit
Let's
of
do it.
a moonshiny thingy?
Yep.
All right, loonies, you know the drill. This is let me just put it all. This is all about Moon Knight, Volume 9, Issue 23, Panic Room. So release date May 3rd, 2023, cover date July 2023. Writer Jed McKay, penciler and inker Alessandro Capuccio, colorist Rochelle Rosenberg, letterer VC Corey's Pettit, and editor Tom Brevoort. You can get this, of course, in floppy format or digital. There was some shenanigans happening, Rebecca. I think now the Marvel digital app is closed, and I think
Mhm.
everything's now through Marvel Unlimited. So you can,
Yeah,
yeah,
apparently if you've got Marvel Unlimited, you can get access to the comics you bought. I don't know if you can still I don't know what happens.
yeah.
Oh, that
I
you
don't know.
bought through
There's,
Comixologies, yeah, and you can still buy
yeah,
single issues there, so
yeah. There's a little bit of a migration thing with all your. Hopefully, you don't lose anything. Oh, I haven't checked in ages, but hopefully, I haven't lost anything as well. A huge library of digital stuff. Anyway, if you have not been here before, Rebecca and I will go through a bare bones. And then we'll go through our overall impressions, some key moments, and some notes here and there, just peppered around this issue. So we want to kick it off with a bare bones, so you kind of get an idea of what this story is about, in case you have, in case you just need a bit of a.
yeah, so
Uh,
you're reminded what it was about because it's a
and
few days since you read it, and
exactly, and Rebecca, we never say this, but we should really spoilers, everybody. So
I kind of assume that people will
yeah,
know that we're gonna
yeah,
talk
yeah.
about
Well,
everything
you
that
never,
happens. Not
you
in
never,
detail because we don't,
yeah.
but, you know.
Actually, before we get into the bare bones, Rebecca, and of course, you are the unwilling subject for or narrator for that. Just a few covers here wanted to show. So, as you can see on screen, the regular cover there by Steven Segovia and Rochelle Rosenberg. Venom is at the top now. Venom and Moon Knight. So he gets top billing as well. Also, we have another cover here,
That's
variant
nice.
cover, Renault variant. Looks really nice, very ghostly, very white. I think we may have covered this earlier on when
Yeah, when we first
solicitations came
saw
out,
them, yeah.
because it does ring a bell. And Declan Shalvey's Spider-Verse variant cover. Looking pretty cool there. Mishmash of Spider-Man, Moon Knight. And there's another one here. I don't think we've covered this one. Stormbreaker's
No.
variant. So Stormbreaker's a up and coming artist and or
Well, just
writers.
the artist they've decided to feature that year. They're not always up and coming, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, just
Yeah.
yeah, or new to Marvel at least.
Maybe,
Is that
yeah,
correct?
yeah.
Maybe, yeah. So this is a variant by Jan Bazaldua, um, Bazaldua. Apologies there. That's three goes, three strikes. I'm probably out. I know Rebecca. It's a beautiful cover. I know your thoughts on non
Yeah. I
titular
think it's
figures
alright.
there.
Yeah, it's
Mm.
Guardians.
Yes,
And and
exactly.
and Ant-Man and is that
Yes.
Ant-Man in there? Yeah.
Oh, who knows? There's some. Yes. So yeah. So we're gonna get into the comic here, Rebecca. Would you be so kind as to let the
Yes.
Linnies?
The bare bones. So Dylan Brock visits the Midnight Mission seeking aid and protection from a cadre of supervillain mercenaries who are after him. Moon Knight's happy to comply, and with the help of the mission, both the Fist of Vengeance and the alien symbiote, okay, Venom, able to incapacitate the likes of Eel, Thermite, Tangle, and Blitz, aka the new Enforcers. After their defeat, it comes to Moon Knight's attention that Venom has sensed the sinister sound waves permeating through the city. Like a bloodhound, Moon Knight utilizes Venom's sensitivity to sound in order to track down the source of the villain Moon Knight has been seeking, Sarnak. In his lair, after beating up his minions, Moon Knight finds Sarnak in a panic room, safe from Moon Knight, safe from vengeance. Sarnak is duly arrested and escapes Moon Knight clutches, content within a jail cell. Yes, he shops himself into the police.
Yeah, he does. It was again subversion of expectation there
Hmm.
towards the end, a big showdown, or at least getting one step closer for Moon Knight to capture Sarnak. So very interesting issue. Of course, larger than life Venom is featured on it. So Rebecca, overall impressions after putting this down and stepping away? What did you make of it?
I liked it more once we got through the halfway point.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a perfectly serviceable, unexciting comic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I liked it, and
Yeah.
I liked it a lot more than I thought I would for a team up. And I think it does kind of the same as the Miss Marvel team up did, in that they both get a bit of a spotlight
Yep.
nicely. I like the idea of Dylan going to Moon Knight, of Eddie telling him that Moon Knight can be trusted. They're all things I liked.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was very smart to use Venom for the sound stuff to find Sarnak. But I have to say, I kind of ended it with a bit of a, huh, okay.
Mm.
Like, I
Yep.
could have done with another couple of pages or something.
Yeah, I can't help but feel very similar vibes as well. I've got just one of the little notes I got in here as well. I think it was a bit of a missed opportunity to use such a big cameo appearance, a cameo appearance from such a big figure like Venom, and I
I
don't
mean,
mean just
maybe unless
literally.
he's gonna come back in some big finale where they're gonna fight,
Yeah,
come to terms with it. Because in that case, we'd all been like, "Well, how does he know him?"
yeah, yeah,
Again, it was almost like a nice bit of a breather, but it did push along the investigation a little bit.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. I don't know. I mean, yeah. I mean, it was a breather, and it was great to see obviously Moon Knight again after the Tigra issue
yeah.
before, which was fantastic.
Oh, that was
Uh,
so cute. Yeah. Oh, I gave that
yeah.
a 10. Yeah, yeah. Okay. No, it was always going to be a bit of a letdown after that.
I mean, look, for me, the thing that really does prop up this issue is the art. I mean, I think
Mm,
I saw on Twitter Alessandro going, "Thank you, Jed, for allowing me to fanboy over one of my favorite characters." And so he got to draw one of his favorite characters,
right.
Venom, and you can see it. I mean,
I
he
mean,
just
but it does
loves
make
it.
sense because, like, we do know that Venom has that sound sensitivity,
Yes, yeah,
and I think because it's not Eddie anymore, like because
mm,
Venom's with Dylan, there is a sense that he might need help. Is that when
yeah,
Mark's saying you should be able to take these guys out? Venom can take these guys out. You shouldn't
yeah,
need to come to me. And you're
yeah,
kind of reminded that it's a kid in there, and
true, yeah,
that and it's kind of, I think it is a nice way for some of these street level characters to meet up.
yeah,
Um, and but it's not just Mark helping him, like he then gets to be
hmm
useful to Mark. So we are moving along that storyline slowly.
yeah,
Um, I think it's probably an issue I'll appreciate more the more I kind of settle with it and read it. I think it was just, reading it quite quickly, knowing we've got the
mm,
podcast coming up,
yeah,
and I
yeah,
was kind of like, and going in with this expectation that, well, it'll just be a one-off
yeah,
team up. But I actually do like the fact that those things, that just some of the little touches. The art is
yeah,
great. And like if it's literally even if it's only been done because Capuccio really wanted to draw Venom, that's fine. I'm
yeah,
all in for writers like,
yeah.
granting those wishes, because I think the story works as well. And
Yeah,
that's because they're using Sarnak.
yeah.
Um
Oh, no, absolutely. There are points in there that Jed has placed in, like, obviously, yeah, that connection between Venom and Sound and then Sarnak and then using Venom in there. I'd absolutely appreciate that. I just still can't. I mean, I realize this is Dylan Brock, not Eddie Brock as well.
yeah.
It just I don't know. I feel like that it missed that chance to. I mean, there are a couple of big fight scenes here. One against the new enforcers, and two when they break into Sarnak's kind of factory or whatever it is, or hideout.
Yeah. I thought there was a
And
couple of interesting things there, like, why
yeah,
didn't Mark let the Midnight Mission just go for it with them?
I really enjoyed the Midnight Mission stuff more than actually seeing Venom in action, because
Yeah.
Venom's in action was more, again, generic. Look, again, it's not for me to say what or how Venom should be played out, but like Venom with the symbiote, and he's in a fight. You really want to see, his big mouth, his tongue, the teeth. You want to
Yeah,
see the
yeah.
symbiote doing weird stuff. You want to see Gooey sort of stuff. He just kind of ran through them like
You
a
love the word
he, um, he just kind of ran through them, and there was no real, I think, attention paid towards what can be a really fun fight with Venom. Moon Knight as well as having Moon Knight there. Granted, also as well that Venom has appeared and referenced. Moon Knight does talk about having teamed up before or met Venom
Yeah.
back in the Benson run, which I think is a 2008 run.
Mhm.
Granted, back then, he wasn't exploited as much Venom back then as well. But I just feel that it's kind of the writing's on the wall there. Why not have fun with such a the crazy character. We've seen it in the Sony movie as well, just how crazy Venom is, like kooky, in that
Yeah.
sense. Um, so anyway, but also as well with Jed, I love the deep dive cuts. The new Enforcers, I've had to go and check that out as well. I like Thermite. Thermite is
Yeah, really
a
interesting.
yeah, Japanese mercenary. He's one of his sides of his body can produce heat, and the left hand or the other side produces cold. I thought that's pretty interesting. You got Tangle. Um, Blitz is just super strong and agile. I understand these are all enforcers, so they're all Spider-Man villains as well.
Mhm. Yeah,
They
which
all
makes
track
sense with Venom.
So they all track back to the 90s web of Spider-Man. And Eel as well. I mean, Eel is the more highly profiled one, if you can call it that, because I just know he's got a Hasbro Legends figure
Yeah,
out of,
yeah.
out of all the things. Um, so yeah, so it was fun to see, the enforcers. But yeah, I really wanted more from the Midnight Mission. I thought,
Mhm.
oh, here we go. Like, I think who was it? Who was it that turns around? I think it's Tangle or Blitz turns around and goes, "How come the door's all the way over there?" And you start getting this sense of like vertigo and yeah, things being warped. So I enjoyed that. But as I said, look, we've got a screenshot here of after the fight, and yeah, just great stuff from Capuccio. Moon Knight looking a bit bloodied. I mean, after all, he's only human as well.
Mhm.
Nothing too overboard there. But yeah, I mean, apart from that, Rebecca, you did mention about this kind of thing with Eddie Brock and Mark Spector, how Eddie's told Dylan
Yeah,
that
I
he can
like
go to
that.
Mark.
You know what would have
Mm,
been quite funny almost if like if I mean like if Mark had gone to look for Venom to use that sound sensitivity
mhm.
and to found out it was a kid now. Like,
Yeah.
but I appreciate that this one, like Eddie did say, yeah, trust him. I also like when they're talking, like when they're walking and talking together just
Hmm.
after he's told the new enforcers that Dylan's under his protection. So like really quite early on.
Oh,
And Dylan's talking about that page.
yep.
So Dylan's talking about what these people that are after him and his dad dying and then being struck in needles. And I thought it was really interesting that we flash back to Mark's dad dying and Mark being stuck with needles.
Yes, that was a point I did pick up on. I wanted you
Yeah.
great call
And
call
it's
out
in
there,
totally
Rebecca.
different coloring. It's like
It is.
it's I don't think coloring we've ever seen Rochelle do before.
Yeah,
It's
it looked
like
very
very sort
sepia.
of yeah,
Yeah,
it's as if it's sepia in amongst these
yeah.
very vibrant ones. So I thought that was really clever. So you're getting those kind of, and Mark says he knows what it's like to,
Mm.
people not trust him, people think he's, out of
Yes.
control and stuff like that. So yeah, but yeah, the
That was
fight's
a
pretty good.
That was a really cool parallel. I just wanna, back to those things because when I first looked
Yeah,
at it
yeah.
and Dylan's talking about since my dad died, I was kinda like, "Huh, that
I
doesn't."
was confused at first, and I was
Yeah,
like, I was like, Eddie Brock's not Jewish,
yeah, so
and
that
then
doesn't ring
like,
a yeah,
and then I was, and then you see the one with the needle. It's like that's clearly
yes.
Mark, or it's
It's
clearly
clearly
how
Mark.
like as
Yeah,
Alessandra draws him. So,
yeah.
um,
So very, very clever, and I like the way that played out, like, visually. I think that
yeah,
was really
it was
good.
a really clever page.
Yeah. Also as well, with that, the talk, discussion between I'm just gonna jump right to the end.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
that thing about, oh, there's so many good places out. Sorry, I hope you don't get, don't get,
Whiplash. Yeah.
whiplash. The thing at the very end, Dylan says, because he goes, "Hey, you are like my dad, Mr. Knight. He also wanted to be better." But
Hmm.
I like the ending, like, but be careful. That's what got him killed. So,
Yeah,
there's
that's a
this
kind of interesting like
yeah.
thing to leave you with.
It's kinda like it plays into that whole nihilism
Mhm.
component of Moon Knight, Mr. Knight, and how anything he does, even though it's kind of well intentioned, it all goes up, up in smoke,
Yeah.
and potentially can harm him as well. So I loved how Dylan called that out too. Um, I mean, again, more of the great art here. What did you think of the panic room, like the scenario at the end, Rebecca?
Uh, again, it felt it jolted me a little bit. I liked it
Mhm.
because I always like when villains do something unexpected. And you
Yeah.
get them like rushing through to find Sarnak, and he's like, "No, it's all right. I'm in a panic room. You can't get me." Yeah, and neither can Venom. And then, but he starts talking about his plan, like so we know who he's working for someone.
Mhm.
Um, Mark does the good old Captain America. I've got all night.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, that's it.
and
There's a nice
yeah,
shot here of both
it's
of them in
really
profile.
pretty. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
really
just in the
nice.
middle
Yeah.
where you're kinda looking in section, through the doorway.
The lighting on them both is very nicely done throughout. They have slightly different lights on them.
Yeah, and they
Um,
kinda look similar, very similar.
mhm.
Hooded, they've got
Yep,
a
the
a
mask.
mask on. Um, yeah, I thought, like, this setup here again, apologies, listeners, if you are just listening and not looking at
Mhm.
the video, but this setup here, you know how comics always do it, they always set up for a big splash page next, and this
Yeah.
last bit of Mark going his eyes are wide, and there's someone saying, "I'm afraid not, Moon Knight." You're absolutely expecting a big reveal on the next
Yeah,
page,
yeah, and it's like,
and
no, he's
so
hiding in the
he's
panic
hiding
room.
in a panic room with a little window,
And
and
I
I'm
like it. So
like, "What
it
the"
comes back to some of the things we in some of the earlier bits of the run where we're like, it's Jed
Yeah,
like taking what we expect to happen and just going, nah,
yeah.
this is some
I think absolutely.
this guy's thought
Abs
about it. He would rather be in prison,
Yeah.
than be
Yes.
interrogated by Moon Knight, and I agree. But I
Yes.
really like the reference to Devil's Reign. When he's
Yes,
like, "Oh, you
yes.
think you're safe in prison?" Like,
Yeah. Yeah, because
ask man to Marco what happens.
yeah,
Like
because when you see him because he won't
he
be
won't be
seeing
seeing
you, so
you.
so
And I like it when Moon Knight can reference
yeah,
his violence and crimes like that.
yeah,
But then so like when he said so this page when he goes to be continued, Sarnak to be continued, I
mm,
honestly thought that there
me
was going to
too.
be a little box in the corner just saying to be
M
continued, and that would be it.
Me
And I
too.
thought that was
Yeah,
just really funny. And then no,
yeah.
there was the goodbye
Th
page.
There's a little bit of a wrap up,
And there's
bit of
just a
an
little goodbye.
epilogue,
Yeah.
with the Midnight Mission eyes there, Rebecca.
Yeah,
The
watching everything. They're
looking
going,
almost
I could have eaten, and no, no, you took it away from me.
almost like Thomas the train there, with the big
Yeah.
eyes.
He's like, "I'm so sad." Looks like Ozzy when he wants breakfast. "Feed me."
The more I look at it, the more I see just like cartoon eyes. It's funny,
Yeah.
but yeah, just a nice little ending there. It was quite again, it was quite abrupt because I
Mm.
felt like you, Rebecca. That ending's like, oh, okay, we've been subverted again. But yeah, it's just kind of really, I don't know. Maybe that's the type of character Sarnak is. It's just like,
I think
well,
we're getting this real slow burn to
it
what
is a
is
slow
going on
burn.
with Sarnak and, like, who is
It's,
behind it and who's telling him
yeah,
to do these things, and I expecting it's gonna be very exciting when we find out.
yeah.
So,
Oh no, it certainly will. So yeah, I
nothing at
mean,
all to do with the next cover.
no. So yeah, exactly. As John mentioned a bit earlier on in the live comments as well, without a doubt, that is Morpheus. It has to be, because I don't follow the solicits that regularly, Rebecca. So they probably
I
did say
forget
something.
them. I, like,
Yeah,
read them at the
yeah,
time and then just literally forget them.
yeah. It's pretty.
Um,
You can see the
so I
Evan
look at it and
energy.
I'm like, "Oh, yeah, he's coming back."
Yeah, you can see the black coming out of like the little signature kind of energy. What do you call it? Emission from him. And Moon Knight looking a little different there. I can see a signature, and again, it's probably all in the solicits, but yeah. So not really much by way of I think this issue, Rebecca. It was pretty straightforward. I mean, you could pretty
Yeah, I
much
don't think there's a
plot
lot I
A to
mean,
B to C
yeah.
what happened in this story, but it was still entertaining. And like I said, I think a lot of the thumbs up for me of course, I love Jed McKay's writing, but it was really propped up well by Alessandro's beautiful art. So, Rebecca, what out of this, out
Hmm.
of 10, you know,
I
dribbling
gave it a
gooeys?
7.
7. Solid around a boy, and similar for me as well. A big 7 there. It was enjoyable. It just flew by. But I will have to go back and just savor the artwork. It's just really
Yeah,
brilliant.
yeah, it's really well done.
Um, yeah, and that's with Moon Knight and Venom as well being essentially black and white. I thought it was a nice little playoff between them and the new enforcers who were really colorful, like
Really
really
colourful, yeah.
like Harlequin kind of, yeah, colorful. So yeah, great stuff again from Rochelle Rosenberg, as always.
Apparently,
Uh,
I ordered the variant for
oh,
Midnight 24. Who knew?
oh, oh,
They
lovely.
don't often do that, so yeah.
Must be pretty good. You gotta go check it out.
It's Mark Bagley Ultimate Look,
Ooh,
Ultimate Last Look. I don't know. I
nice.
mean, I like that one, but I think this
Yeah.
one's nicer, I guess.
Yeah, this it looks very nice. This one again, the colors just. We do have just one bit of feedback from a valued loony Mario Di Giacomo, and this is from our Facebook group. And Mario says, as a child of the 80s, 90s, I never really cared for Venom, so I must confess that I approached this issue with a certain amount of trepidation. Would Jed's desire to sate Alessandro's love for the character lead to a lesser quality issue? I'm happy to say that this was not the case. Moon Knight 23 fits neatly into the mystery that Jed had slowly been building over the course of the arc, offering some nice character bits, excellent action, and even a hint of stories to come, with the first mention of the Karnak Cowboys. Oh, was that mentioned in there as well,
Yeah,
Rebecca?
yeah, it was, yeah.
Okay, okay, I missed that, but uh, Mario's picked up on the same thing. Rebecca, slow burn and all. Uh, if I had any real quibble with the issue, it would be that the ending is rather anticlimactic, as Sarnak turns himself in rather than face Mark's not so tender ministrations. It was a bit jarring, Rebecca. There you go. Although completely reasonable from an in-world perspective. Yes,
Yeah,
totally
yeah.
agreed. Capucci's art was, as always, on point, and Rosenberg's colours provided ample support. I think more than ample. I almost never have issues on that front. The ending still bugs me though, so I can't give it more than 8 out of 10. That's a good score though, Mario. And now I have to wait another month for Morpheus to return and tie it all together. I've no idea where the story is going, but I still wonder about the late Dr. Plesko.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he exploded in a building, right? That
So I
was
wonder if that was just a hint of what's to come with the Karnak Cowboys. Like if he's
what?
one of them. So like just to remind us that Plesko has this tie. And he
Yes.
actually is dead. But I'm fully up for him not really being dead and him still being
Yes.
in charge of this whole operation as well. But now knowing that he's coming back in the past, so to
Mm,
speak, makes me think there's a possibility that he could. That's the first thing that's made me think he might be dead.
right. Oh, let me sorry, just get rid of that. Oh, yep. Hey. Uh yeah. What could you sorry, Rebecca, you might have to explain to me the Karnak Cowboys. What is happening
I
there?
don't know. I mean, like,
Okay.
they're referencing that City of the Dead thing, or like Moon Knight
Yeah, okay.
25, and then they're gonna. So City of the Dead's gonna go back to the past and show you one of their adventures.
Okay.
So
Yeah, yes, that's right. So we'll see
that's so
Plesko.
we
Yeah.
can get Layla in.
Yes.
That's how to retcon Layla into his past.
Yeah.
And yeah, and it said Dr. Plesko. Well, it said Plesko. So yeah, and Frenchie.
Plesko
We
is
get Frenchie. So
yeah,
like,
finally,
how long have we
finally.
been waiting?
I mean, again, like,
Okay,
no,
Mario's answering, but we can. So yes, first of all, yeah.
okay.
s-
The
So
Kinda
Mario says,
Cowboys.
yeah.
Yep, sorry, Rebecca.
No, you do it.
Wait, so Murray, the Karnak Cowboys was Mark's old Merc unit, apparently.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Mario. I always know that you're on the ball. And Phil, Drop King, Phil. I love Jed bringing back all of these characters we haven't seen in a while. The new
I know.
enforcers, yes.
He's doing his best to like just restore all this. Like, go back,
Yeah.
read your old Marvel. It was good. It was fun. It stuck with us.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun just diving into the Marvel fandom website after reading Jed's issues and just finding out
Mm.
about these characters. It's really good. Thank you, Phil, for dropping that in. And Mario, as always, thank you for your awesome feedback. Yeah. So, Rebecca, I think that pretty much kind of wraps this issue. Yeah, looking forward to next issue.
Yeah,
Are we?
I mean,
Are
and
we
I'm sorry everyone in advance. You're gonna be sick of hearing from us in July and August.
Yeah, Rebecca, we still haven't done like
I know
we
we've
haven't
got
done the
things like
bundle deal.
Punisher to deal, and
Yeah,
yeah.
we've got to bundle them all up
We
together
got to
because
bundle some stuff together because Moon Knight
yeah,
did come back briefly, and
and kind of significant, right? I mean, Frank's gone crazy as well, isn't he? He's
yeah.
taking on everything. Okay, I haven't
Like
really been
before, it was just in the last panel of an issue. In the last issue, he actually got to do stuff, and so
nice.
yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen Moony anywhere else. But yes. Yeah, well, that pretty much wraps us. I don't know why I closed the prompt sheet because I need to have a little look. That wraps us, I guess. Please keep sending in your comments. They're fantastic. I want to hear about what you think of this
Yeah, I want to
Venom
see what
team up.
everyone thinks about it.
And this thing, I mean, like Maria seems to have echoed our sentiments about the ending. Also, yeah, I mean, what did you think of like Venom as a whole in here? And yeah, be good to get him in. So just drop your thoughts in either Twitter, even in the comment sections over here and in YouTube, also on Facebook and Instagram. We're all there. Rebecca, any other appearances that you might be popping up in podcast wise?
I'm recording something on Sunday. DCAU. I've done. One of them just got put up, and we're doing Wonder Woman something. And
Cool.
it's a Wonder Woman film that we're doing on Sunday, and that's all the most recent ones, I think. No, I
Okay.
imagine we'll do an Iron Fist one soon because there's a newish Iron Fist comic.
Nice,
So,
nice. And you can go check out Predator and Prey. More recently, we did a read through of the latest Ed Brisson. Not read through, sorry. We did a review of the latest Ed Brisson Predator comic. That was pretty cool. It's part 2 of the Preserve. It's awesome. Then we did a read through of Predator 2, the adaptation from Dark Horse. That was a lot of
oh,
fun.
cool.
Yeah, well, it was just a lot of fun putting on voices.
Mm.
I was Leona, so
Well, of course.
good morning, hello, Facebook user.
Mm.
And I have like 4 issues to catch up on, so I'm okay with missing most of this episode. No spoilers. I'm sorry, Noel. Sorry, spoilers.
Yeah.
So just don't listen to the prior 40 minutes.
Yeah, it's Noel that's Oh, he said it's
Ah,
Noel. Yeah, yeah.
let's
4
just
issues to
say,
catch up on. You have some really good stuff ahead.
holy
Like,
moly.
you have one I scored a 10 to, so
Yeah, and that moment that Doctor Doom came in and
yeah, and
and
and Kiss Mark.
yeah, that was so passionate.
It was just
It's
like, they're getting married now, Yeah.
yeah, it's one for the ages. Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. Written by Bendis. Yeah,
He's coming back
it's
just to write it.
exactly. Plenty of stuff there, Noel, for sure. Next phase, Looney's next issue. I've got to check the phase of the moon. I've actually pre-recorded something as well. And again, it's my kick. Here we go. We've got a few. Mario, don't forget the Dracula appearance. Of course. Oh,
Oh, yeah, well, you
you
see,
could bet. Yep.
totally forgot. Like,
Yeah, exactly. And
highlights.
Wolverine in a bikini. I don't know. Um, Doctor Doom. Yes. Doctor Doom was revealed as a duck.
As Howard the Duck.
No spoilers. Just yeah.
Just a
Or
duck.
just a
Just a duck.
duck. um, but yes, so next issue, next episode, Loonies, I talked to the chaps over at Critical Encounters. It's a Marvel Champions podcast. Yes, I have brought my obsession over, and I've somehow shoehorned it into Moon Knight. So I got to chat with these awesome guys, Steve and Mike. Go check out Critical Encounters too. And we talk about, because he's not really in it, but we talk about if there was a Moon Knight hero pack, like what the cards would be,
Okay,
like
that's
how would.
cool.
Yeah, so we kind of speculate and speculate as to how Moon Knight can fit in. And there are 2 cards currently in the thousands of cards that they've released that have some tangential connection to Moon Knight. So that was fun too. We discussed that. Also as well, big thank you again to the Patroonies, Odin, Frank, Daniel, Mario, Justin, Derek, Wayne, Josh, Anthony, Russell, Michael, Drew, Matthew, Jonathan, and Dan. I would put it up on the screen, but I haven't updated it, so I'm really sorry. Can't put your names up there, but a big shout out to all of you. Please consider becoming a Patreon member, patreon.com/ITK Moon Knight. Yeah, you too can be privy to bonus episodes, behind the scenes stuff, and yeah, all that jazz. Some videos as well. Sponsors: Odin Sword for Drinking Marvel podcast, Frank Dukes from I Want to Fight It podcast, Daniel's releasing an action figure of his creation, Fringe Knight.
Nice.
So support Daniel at patreon.com/Fringe Knight 27, and of course Drew Toombs, the Tombs Raider himself. Catch his music on soundcloud.com/Tombs and Bandcamp, lurkmusic.bandcamp.com, I think. Also as well, Dreamland Comics, collectors.com. Go check it out and go get your stuff sorted. What are you doing? You're all over the place. And Dreamland Comics, use the code MOON, and you can also get that classic issue of Moon Knight written by Doug Mensch and Bill Sienkiewicz that will be featured in issue 25. So, yes, and finally, we are part of the collective. Rebecca has her hands all over the collective, with the DCAU and Sons of the Dragon. Yeah, I started saying it, Rebecca. I couldn't stop, so I just had to
It's fine.
let it go. Your Sons of the Dragon, Immortal Iron Fist podcast, DCAU as well. But I also want to shout out Inner Demons, the Ghost Rider podcast. Miss you, Brian Biggie. Come on, lift the feet, soldier. Finally, also as well, I can put this up on. Yeah, I got it right. You can email us, please do. It's getting a bit dusty in the inbox there. Feedback, because most of the comments admittedly come through social media. But email, still old fashioned. Feedback at itkmoonnight.com. We've got a website, itkmoonnight.com. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, and Discord as well. Rebecca, can we customize a Discord address? Like, I don't know if that's possible. No.
We can put the invite in, maybe.
We'll put the invite. So just go to ZQP2/27364 and easy to remember. Rebecca, it's always been a pleasure. It's always great.
No, it's been good. It's been good.
Hold on to your hats, Rebecca, because there's plenty of material.
I just thought that, like, all those July ones, you might need some help with.
Yeah,
I'm going to be away for most of them.
Oh yes, of course. Oh, are we going to get?
Going to be away for all the big ones. So,
are we going to get some reports from the con?
if there's anything. We don't know what's happening with the writers' strike and if it'll be joined by actors and directors. So,
okay,
we have no idea. But I hopefully Jed will be there with,
yes.
He might be signing Moon Knight 25.
Awesome.
So,
you're gonna have to.
We'll see. Yeah,
you have to wear some paraphernalia with ITK on it or something.
I'll just say hi.
That too as well.
I could, but I'll take a look at what shirts you have on offer.
Yeah, I'll send one over. I'll say Loonies, thank you once again for listening. Be safe. I don't know why I say that. Anyway, force a habit. And as always, may country watch over the denizens of the night. Catch you later.
Bye.